Hello, lawn care millionaires. My name is Marvin Salcido with Salcido Home Solutions, and I am a lawn care millionaire. So I started my business completely over in October of 2016. Before that, I was a part of another multi-million-dollar landscape company, and me and my business partner weren't getting along, and it was better for me and my family that I walked away and I started over. It was a real big struggle starting or restarting to have to push my name back out into the market. I had just come through the beginning of 2016. It was the worst year of my life. I went through a massive bout of depression in the beginning of that year. Later on in that year, I almost lost my marriage. I lost my partnership. And just having to go through the mental toll of all of that crap and then have to rebuild a business on top of that. It was tough mentally. I remember sitting down with my wife as we were restarting the business, and I sat her down and I told her, I said, babe, the next 3 years are going to suck. And I said, I'm going to have to spend a lot of time regrowing the business, and I just need you to bear with me. And she told me, she said, you've said that before. And I said, you're right. And it's not fair. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to the kids. I said, but life's not fair. And this is where we're at. This is our reality. And this is what I'm going to have to do. And I dove in head first into regrowing the business as hard as I could, as fast as I could, because I had a goal in mind that, one, I had to reclaim all of the lost income by restarting. I took a massive pay cut by walking away from my old company. So I needed to recoup that income. And then I wanted to become a household name in my area. And I set out as hard as I could, as fast as I could, to do both of those. And I achieved both of them within 3 years. And was it a struggle? Absolutely. But was it achievable? For sure. So years ago, somebody asked me, they said, if you could go back in time and you could change change anything in your past, would you? And I told him, I said, absolutely. I'd go back and I'd change all the bad and I'd keep only the good. But then I thought about it and I re-answered that question and I said, no, I wouldn't change a thing. Because everything that I went through in my past has made me who I am today. And I like who I am today. And so, yeah, it was a massive struggle. It was a lot of crap that I had to go through. But it made me stronger because of it. And it allowed me to achieve some of the stuff that I have achieved today because I was tested by fire. Had I not gone through those struggles, there's no way I would be who I am today. When a caterpillar is emerging from its cocoon, it has to struggle through the opening in the cocoon. And scientists have done a study where they cut the cocoon open and help the butterfly out. And the butterfly does not live like it should because struggling through that cocoon pushes the blood flow into the wings and allows it to live and flourish the way that it needs to. And I think that that's what happened in my life is, yeah, it was horrible, everything that happened. But it tested me by fire the way that I needed to be tested so that I could accomplish some of the stuff that I have later on in life. Branding is massive. What even set me out to go down the path of the brand that I had was I was driving down the road one day. It was in January of 2017, and I passed one of my trucks on the road, and my guys called me, and they said, hey, boss, did you see us? We were waving at you. And I was like, no, I didn't see y'all. And it got me thinking, like, if I don't even notice my own truck on the road, how the crap is anybody else going to notice me? And I literally canceled my afternoon that day, and I went straight to the paint store, and I asked them to let me see your book. Let me see your paint book. And I started flipping through all the paint. And the first color that jumped off the page and slapped me in the face, I said, that's the color I want right there. And I ordered a couple of gallons of paint, and I went, and that next week we painted our truck lime green. And we set out on a brand so that people would notice who we are. And I picked a color that is not an average color that you would see on the road. It's not a color that is prominent in our market. Now there's a bunch of other copycats around, but they all picked it because of me. And I wanted to stand out amongst the crowd because before I had a white truck, I looked like every other contractor out there. And I can't be like everybody else. I wanted to stand out amongst the crowd. And about a month and a half, 2 months ago, we set out on a rebrand, and we went from Salcido Lawn to Salcido Home Solutions. And the reason why we're going through this rebrand is so that we can offer more solutions to our clients for their home services and their home service needs. We protect our brand really hard. I mean, it took me a long time to build it up. They say that it can take years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to tear it down. And we stand behind our name. There's a biblical principle that says a good name is better than great riches. And I thoroughly believe in that. I'm gonna stand behind my name even if I lose money. And there's been times when, we have something, life happens, crap's gonna happen. Something goes wrong on a job, and I'm gonna stand behind the job. I'm gonna make it right, regardless if I make money on that job, because I'm gonna protect our name. And I want people to know that we are reliable. We are a great company to work with, and we're gonna stand there. We're gonna stand behind our work, regardless. And we've done it time after time after time. I made a YouTube video years ago called Putting Your Money Where Your Mouth Is. And I talked about how we went out, we did a job for a client, and they weren't happy with it. And I said, you know what? You're right, we didn't do a great job, and I'll own up to that, and I'm gonna refund your money. And I immediately refunded his money, and I apologized, and we made it right. So not only did I go out and I made the job right, but I refunded his money. And you know what? We do that. We stand behind our work. Because we're going to stand behind our name. Let's say the importance of advertising. Way back in the day, 15, 20 years ago, I didn't do any advertising. I didn't think I could afford to do advertising. And now I know better. I can't afford not to do advertising. And now I spend over $250,000 a year in advertising, sometimes $300,000-$400,000 a year. Because I know that my ROI on that is going to be way more than it costs me. And I used to grow by word of mouth, and it was extremely slow, and I'd be super excited, like, hey, we picked up 1 job this week. Now we're picking up 3, 4, 5 jobs a day. And the only way that we're able to do that is because we tell people about who we are. I was coaching somebody, and I had been on him for months and months and months about doing some advertising, getting his name out there, letting people know who he is. I said, look, man, when clients need what you're selling, I said, they're not going to pick up the phone and magically conjure up your phone number and accidentally call you. Like, you have to tell them. If people don't know who you are, they're never going to call you. You have to be in front of their face all the time. They say it takes a minimum of 7 points of contact before somebody will decide to call you. 7 points of contact. That's a Facebook post, seeing one of your trucks, seeing one of your crews working, getting a flyer on their door, another Facebook post, a Google ad. I mean, you have to touch them 7 different times before they'll decide to potentially reach out to you. And so, man, if I could take it all back, I would have advertised from day one. Hey, thank you for taking a moment with me, and connect with LCM on all their platforms. And if you want to be featured as a lawn care millionaire, click the link below.